Hi, welcome back to the Suit Show. Malik said for. Hi. Okay, so if this is your first time listening, hi, I'm the host. I've been running this podcast for a couple of years, but anyway, you can get all of that in previous episodes. You can listen to that in previous episodes. Make sure to stick with us. Follow, share. You know the drill. Turn on your notifications so that you get alerted anytime we post something new. And without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's discussion. So, I've said this, I think I said this, re listening or listening to previous episodes, after, after it has been published. Um, I always say that I've been taking a spontaneous approach, should I say I always, a couple of episodes, I've taken, the spontaneous approach, just try to wing it. Just any topic that comes, flow with it, roll with it, vibe, cruise, fly, slide with it. Nothing too serious, nothing too up and up. And in those things, I've found beauty. I talked about changing the narrative. You should totally listen to that episode. I talk about embracing spontaneity. And there's something that would stand out. There's something that stands out in all of them. And one thing that stands out in all of them is change. And in Nigeria, we've probably heard that quote more often than not, that change is constant. You are bound to experience some form of change, either drastic or minuscule or extremely significant or insignificant. You're bound to experience some form of change in your life. Your life is a trajectory. It's not just a straight line. There's a climax, and then there will be either a plateau, stationary phase before you keep on going. Sometimes there are dips, sometimes there are hills. So sometimes there are valleys, sometimes there are hills. I need to match some of them together. But what is the moral lesson? The moral lesson of everything is that change is bound to happen. And many times that brings me to that's a beautiful way to end today's topic. And many times our parents aren't a fan of the change that we experience. And you would ask yourself, why is that? Maybe you didn't ask yourself, maybe you're like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Hold on, before you think this is a tool for rebellion, hold your horses and listen up. So I once watched the movie. I really can't remember the title. I do not even know what happened. It gets like that sometimes. I watch movies, just fly through it. I don't remember any names of the characters or anything. But one quote stuck out when I was watching the movie, and it says, children are mirrors of their parents. And when he said children are mirrors of their parents, I paused for a little bit. The movie was still playing, but my mind had already gone. And I asked myself, I said, am I a mirror for my parents? And I couldn't tell, because my parents are really, they are wonderful people. They are fantastic people. They've taught me right. Aside good morals and everything, they introduced me to Jesus, which is the most important thing and the best thing they could have ever done for me. I'm thankful for the academic investments and whatnot. But introducing me to Jesus is the best thing they could have ever done for me. So anyway, I started wondering. I was like, am I a mirror for my parents? When they look at me, do they see themselves, or do they see me? Do they see me for who God has made me to be, not just who I am? Many people I need to place perspective. Many people confuse who they are or who God has made them to be. So pardon the obnoxiously loud alarm. That's just a signal that no, it's not a drill, don't worry. But anyway, if you're Nigerian, you probably understand why that alarm went off. That's if you heard the alarm. If you heard the alarm, kudos. If you didn't hear it, well, kudos to you anyway. But yeah, and it made me start wondering. And it's because a lot of my friends in the past, would complain, would come to me and be like, my parents are demanding this of me, my parents are demanding that of me. Some parents demand that their kids become doctors, engineers, or lawyers, and nothing more, nothing less. And then you've probably heard stories, seen stories in movies, or probably someone you know in real life say, my parents forced me to go to medical school. I spent 8 years in med school. I came out and I wanted to be a musician. All those very fantastic stories. Most of them are actually very real. And you hear these stories, some of them are inspiring. They push you to walk up to your parents and say, Mom, Dad, I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be a lawyer and engineer, or I don't want to take up a role in the labor market or something. I want to do something for myself. I want to take a different approach to life than the conventional 9 to 5 type of vibe. And then your parents are like, if you don't do this, you'll probably be poor. You'll be poor. How will you take care of us? Some Nigerian parents are like, they're not all. Before you come at Nigerian parents, chill, breathe. It's not everyone. That's most likely their response. And I'd ask myself, why would your parents respond like that? If you look at the animal kingdom, as much as the lions, when the lionesses go hunting, they take their cubs along with them, But whenever they hunt, they've got one eye on their prey and they've got one eye on their children. The reason they take their cubs along with them is for exposure, is to introduce them to the world, to show them how things are like. Okay? But when those cubs are little, they don't leave them to go hunting on their own. They hunt, they catch the prey, they kill it, and they bring it back to the pride, and these cubs feast from what their mom or their dad has gone out to, kill. And it's similar to humans. Humans are a higher species, of course, with developed intellect and everything. Our parents are comfortable with carrying you, showing you what the world looks like, showing you the ups and downs, the nooks and crannies, the intricacies and the dips and the swerves of life and everything there is to life. But to leave you to go out there and see life, it's kind of scary. So them bringing the kill, bringing the prey to you, the already slain animal, is more like offering you medicine, law, or engineering. These are safe zones, they are safe spots. They are like guarantees that if you put your head down, you work hard, you come out with an outstanding degree, you know your practice very well, you are safe, you're secured, you have a guaranteed wage. And they always look out for your safety, they look out for your comfort. While this is good because they are parents, and many times we come at our parents for doing this. Someone told me that I will never understand why parents do what they do until I become a parent, and that's actually quite true. So until we become parents, we will not understand the need to want to overprotect or shield our children from the things that the world is bringing or the things that the world is giving and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, this will be a relatively short episode. This is an episode to tell you that to have that talk with your parents, sit down with them, say, Mom, Dad, I'm trying to embrace change. Change is constant and change is bound to happen. This is where I'm headed and this is who I want to be. This is who God has made me to be, not just who you want to be, because many times our decisions are made out of impulses. They are not rational, they are not logical, and they are not God inspired. So before you take any decision, make sure to check in with God and be sure that it's in line with God's perfect will and mandate for your life. That's where we'll end it today. Very short episode. I hope you've grabbed something or two. Just know that you are your own self, created and fashioned by God, and God will have you be something great. I love you all. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe. God bless you. Flip that switch and illuminate. Arrivederci.